good's that first coffee in the morning, the steam coming up out of the mug, the aroma of the coffee. It's a great way to start the day. Or perhaps you've got some other way that you start that puts you in a place of comfort and reassurance. And even though you have the same routine, day in, day out, it never gets old. There's something very good and reassuring in that predictability. Imagine if we could create the same sense of routine and predictability in our classrooms, where our students feel safe and reassured and hence more likely to engage in the learning. Let's have a look at some things that we can do to create that predictable routine in the classroom. Make sure you have all your resources set up and ready to go so that you're not running around, you're not flustered, but you're organized and calm. Be in the classroom 5 to 10 minutes before class starts and welcome each student as they come in by their name. That is one of the most reassuring things that you can do for a student. Then in that 10 minutes before class starts, you can just engage in some chit chat or banter, and it just settles everyone down, ready for the learning to start. I'm sure we've all experienced some negative student behaviour at times, that it's quite challenging in the classroom. It's important then to deal with that behaviour in a fair and consistent way so that even if it is unsettling for the other students, they at least can be reassured and know that you're going to deal with it the same way you have on previous occasions. Starting class on time and finishing on time, and also honouring those meal break time periods that you have during the session, is a great way to prove reliability and stability for the students. These tiny predictable strategies are a good thing to embrace and bring them into the classroom. But there's also bad predictability, things that we want to avoid, because in a virtual classroom, bad predictability is compounded and makes it even worse. Growing up in the 70s, I was able to tell what day it was by what we were having for dinner. So Monday was sausages, mashed potato, peas and carrots. Tuesday was a very average spaghetti bolognese. Wednesday was this smoked cod thing, much to my disgust, with this white sauce and mashed pumpkin with broccoli. Ugh. Thursday was lamb chops with the same veg that we had on the Monday night. And if we were lucky, we got takeaway on Friday night. So week in, week out, we had the exact same thing on every day with the same vegetables. There was no variation, no flavour difference. What you got is what you got. Now, I feel lucky that I had food. It was a good thing, but it was very predictable and very boring. The thing is, as a teacher, we can sometimes fall into that boring, predictable menu that we feed our students. Our students are pretty switched on. It won't take them long to figure out this pattern that on a Tuesday morning, they get a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation using the same images that I used last week, and then they get a 15-minute 10-question quiz using the same boring tool that we used the week before that and the week before that. Predictable, boring, disengaging. We need to send bad predictability packing and make sure that we're equipped with a great recipe book for our classes and also tools that we can mix things up, try different flavors and give our students lots of variation, metaphorically speaking. One of the great things about being a teacher is that we've got this content to deliver, but what we can do is put our own creative spin and variation on it to make sure that it's going to be delivered in a way that's going to land for our cohort of students. This is why it's a great idea to speak to other teachers in your section and see if they've delivered either that content or subject before, and see if they've got any tips or tricks around what worked and what didn't. And if they've got no great suggestions for you, jump onto Google or YouTube. There is so much great stuff on there on creative ways to deliver particular subjects. Sometimes our teaching section meetings can get bogged down in these administrative tasks that we have to do. And whilst they're important, they don't really float our boat. So a great suggestion is ask your supervisor if 15 minutes of every meeting can be dedicated to sharing teaching strategies or tools that you might be able to incorporate in your own recipe book. Thing is, if you find a great strategy or teaching tool, don't overuse it because it'll soon get boring as well. Keep mixing up your recipes and trying different flavors. Good predictable, do that. And bad predictable, avoid that. Right, that's it from me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so I can prove to my boss that I'm actually doing something. And I'll see you next time on Virtually the Teacher.